What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through an in-depth preview of all the player props in the game between the Dallas Wings and the New York Liberty. We'll go through all your favorite players. We'll talk about their matchups, their form lines, what I like, what I don't, and I do all this to give you all the information that you need to make the best bets possible. Now, if it's your first time checking out the channel, I encourage you to subscribe because I'm dropping heat just like this every day, whether it's previews, whether it's my best bets. I'll be doing it every single day. So subscribe to the channel. We are growing fast. Next milestone is 10,000 subscribers. Help me get there. Now, if that sounds interesting, let's go. So before we jump into the preview, two quick things. The first thing, this is Outlier. If you have not seen it before, you've got to check it out. I've got a 7-day free trial, collects all the data that you need to make the best bets possible. All things related to props, money lines, and even spreads. Outlier's got you covered. Check that out. It's a 7-day free trial. The second thing is that I fucking suck. I cannot believe that I forgot to mention that at the top. Recap on our last video, I shared 5 picks. I went 1 and 4. Unbelievable. You could close your eyes and pick 5 picks and get more than one of them right. Frustrating day given the amount of work I put into that, but hey, we've been killing it as of late. I think it was bound to happen, but nice dose of a reality check. Humbles you a little bit, but yeah, it was fucking awful. Terrible day for me. Terrible, just frustrating scenes, but I'm ready to kick into gear. I'm not going to be one of those guys that makes excuses for the bets flopping. I'm not going to blame the players for the bullshit that they did. At the end of the day, I made those bets. I shared them with you, so I bear the responsibility. So some bad picks on my behalf. And if you did lose some money because of the picks that I gave out, I do apologize, but don't sweat it. You know what value every single day, and winning days are not too far away. So let me this preview. So one game on the slate. I've got a little bit more time to get through it. We'll go through all the players, talk about what I like, and hopefully that helps you out in picking some winners in this game. One thing to note, this is difficult for me already to bet on because these guys just played each other not too long ago. So it's another one of those ridiculous back-to-back sets. And some games, like the Connecticut Sun versus Spark, nothing changes. They run it back and the same thing happens. Whereas in other games, the complete opposite could happen. So I'm a little bit torn in how things are going to go in this game, but I'll do my absolute best to give you everything that I got. Dallas are at home here, so we'll get through the Liberty players first. Let's talk about Sabrina Ionescu. So we'll do a lot of points, rebounds, assists, and even 3-pointers if they're relevant to the player. But Sabrina's points line is at 18.5. So despite only scoring 14 in the last game, this line hasn't moved. It stayed at 18.5. I did bet the over in the last game, which I absolutely lost, but she's hit this in 3 out of the last 10, averaging 18.4. The matchup with Dallas is absolutely perfect, which is why I bet the over last time. But Sabrina only played 25 minutes. And then she only took 9 shots. So absolutely ridiculous scenes here. She did, however, kill it on the assist side. 11 assists in that game, of course. Not shooting, passing the ball around in less minutes. I was destined to be cooked there. But talking about her points prop, honestly, I'd lean to the over once again. She only took 9 shots in that game. It doesn't happen all too often. I'm just checking the season data to see when was the last time. See, last 20 games, always taken more than 10. On the season, yeah, in that last game where she took 9 shots, that is the lowest volume of shots that she's taken in any game this season. And it happened to be the game where I bet the over and she had the perfect matchup. But so I personally lean to the over. The assist is a good look as well, given this matchup and points are going to come. But I think the best play that you can make if you're going to bet on Sabrina Ionescu is an over in her points plus assists. It's highly unlikely she gets 11 assists again. She's still got 14 points, though. You could easily get 20 to 25 points here and still chip in 4 to 5 assists. I also think, yeah, plus assists can cover you with something ridiculous like the last game if it happens again. But yeah, my personal thought there is still take the over in points, but we'll see where we go. I don't know. That's what everything tells me, but these back-to-back sets, they creep me up. Looking at a 3-pointers made prop, 3.5 is the line. She still made 4 3-pointers in that last game, which is good because prior to that, she was shooting terribly, right? And part of the reason I took her over is because she has to get better. Their form as of late has been terrible. She needs to get better, and she did. So, yeah, I lean to the over here on the points. Plus 150 for the 3-pointers, though. I don't know if I could get with that, but all of this kind of ties into her scoring more points. So points are the way to go. It's the way that I'm thinking. Rebounds 4.5, 6 out of her last 10, averaging 5 per game. The Wings allow the third fewest rebounds to guards. She did have 5 rebounds in that last game. It's the only time she's played the Dallas Wings this season. It's not like the Dallas Wings were terrible on offense. They still scored 91 points. So Sabrina was getting active. If anything, you could assume that Dallas probably slowed down offensively. Probably not. But this rebound line, I think it's just about right. I wouldn't play around with it. She tends to hover between 4 and 6 rebounds in a lot of games. So there's no real insight or analysis I could see that's going to say, yeah, you should take the over or you should take the under there for Sabrina. Jonquel Jones. Now, John Jones fucking pissed me off because I bet on her in the last game and she sucked as well. She did score the ball quite well, though. If we're looking at points, she did score 19 points. Her line's at 14.5. She's hit the over in that in 3 straight games now. 5 out of her last 10. The Wings allow the second most points to centers on the season. Jonquel Jones only played 19 minutes in that game. Look, I'd lean to the over for sure if she was going to get her minutes. Battle some foul trouble, though, so I understand that. And it was a somewhat blowout win, so they didn't put her back on. Another player I would lean to the over on, Jonquel Jones. But again, these rotations got to be fucked up. Same thing with her rebounds, 8.5 boards for Jonquel Jones. Her line was at 9.5 last time, and I know that because I bet it. She only had 5 rebounds, obviously only playing 19 minutes. It's a whole type of bullshit. But yeah, I'd lean to the over. In oftentimes in these back-to-back sets, if I lose my bets in the first game, they tend to happen in the second game because the analysis is spot on. So they just don't come off. So I don't want to sway from that. I don't want to bet her under. I wouldn't say bet her under just because she went under in the last game. That doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, I think to the over in both her points and her rebounds. Fuck. Will she get the minutes though? That's my only concern there for Jonquel Jones. We've got Nigel Hamilton. Let's talk about her for a minute. Her points line at 10.5. She over in 2 out of her last 4 games against Dallas. 10 points in that last game she just played. 4 out of her last 10, averaging 11.8. She only played 21 minutes in that game as well. So a lot of the starters didn't get their minutes. She still took 9 shots, somewhat aggressive, 2 from 4 from deep. So, yeah, I wouldn't bet the over in her points. This 3-point line, if you can catch it at 1.5, is probably not a bad look. They're going to give her open looks all game. She did just hit 2 in the last one. But again, is Sabrina going to be so pass happy, right? 3.5 is a plus money play. We managed to catch her 3.5 rebounds against the Las Vegas Aces, which is a great pick for me. But this matchup against Dallas, it hasn't been very fruitful for us. She only had 2 rebounds in that last game. Obviously, minutes are down. And if you think the Liberty are going to blow these guys out, there's a chance that the starters don't play too many minutes. The Liberty have that top seed all but locked up. So, yeah, but Nigel Hamilton, worried about a lot of the minutes for these guys. Brianna Stewart, 22.5 points. She was the leading scorer in that first game with 27. She's covered this in 5 or 6 against Dallas, 2 out of 3 this season. In her last 10, she's only this 4 times, 22.5. That 27 points. She played less minutes as well, but still managed to destroy them in 27.9 minutes because she was a freaking hog. 18 shots. She took the same number of shots she always does, and she played about 5 to 6 minutes less than she normally would, and she was just throwing it up there. She made it rain from deep as well, 3 from 6. She was just killing them. Now, would I take her over today? I'm not taking her over, that's for sure. But the signs do point to yes. I think this New York Liberty, their offense always starts with Brianna Stewart. That's where they go when the shot clock runs low. They go to Brianna Stewart because she managed to find. She always finds a way to get to the free throw line. She got 6 from 6 free throws in that last game against Dallas. So I think the shot volume is always going to get there. She can call her own number. She's got great size and skill at her position. So I'd always lean, not always, but in easy matchups like this, I would lean to the over for Brianna Stewart. But then I think about, is she going to get the minutes and is she really going to take 18 shots in 28 minutes again? That's my concern. Looking at assists, over 2.5 is minus 137, even though she only had 2 assists in that last game. Yeah, she's hit out of 3 games against Dallas, but keeping in mind these first 2 games, Sabrina didn't play. So Brianna Stewart assists. I've got no angle there. Then we look at her rebounds at 7.5. She's only hit this in 3 out of her last 10 games. This Dallas team, there's not a lot of rebounds to go around. And the reason why, this Dallas team, they just let people score, so there's no offensive rebound chances, and they're pretty good offensively. So there's not many defensive rebound chances either. So 7.5 boards for Brianna Stewart. I think that is an honest reach. So betting the under there could be a look. In 3 games against Dallas this season, she's gone 12, 7, and 2. The game, she got 12 rebounds. The Liberty blew them out by 20. She still played 32 minutes. And then the following game, 7, and then only 2 rebounds in the last one. So I probably lean to the under there. 7.5 rebounds would make sense if she was playing her full complement of minutes. You can get under 7.5 rebounds for plus money as well. I honestly don't hate that. I just wonder, could this be one of those games where the Liberty just say, Brianna, just chill, where she doesn't score too much, doesn't rebound too much, and doesn't get too many assists, like where she has one of those, I would say, quiet nights for Brianna Stewart. Like I'm just thinking bet the under for her points, under as her rebounds as a parlay, because it seems like she's hit it a few times. So this is looking at the last 20 games. Under in points and rebounds would have hit here. Actually, it won't hit too often. Here, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 20. And you probably get about $4 off. I think the odds will be about right. So there's no edge there in fading Brandon Stewart in that type of parlay that I was just thinking about. I don't know why I just did that on camera, because you probably don't know what I'm thinking about. But Brandon Stewart, if I had to take a bet for her, I would bet the under on her rebounds, or I'd take the over in her points plus assists. But like I said, I'm not taking any bets here on Brandon Stewart. These rotations got me fucked up. Next up, Courtney Vandersloot doesn't have any props available. That would be an interesting look. Over in assists is usually a wagon. Now, we're going to jump into these Dallas Wings. Up at the breaks real quick. I mentioned this in a video a couple of days ago or a week ago, and I want to remind you all again. This is a new tool called Odds Checker Plus. They reached out to me to play around with it, to share it with you guys. I've actually had some success with it, believe it or not. It's a great tool that gives you plus EV plays across a whole range of different sports. Their AI probability calculator actually works surprisingly well. And I don't believe in things like that, but this has actually worked quite well. The reason why I'm making a big deal out of it right now is because it's free. I think week 3 of the NFL playoffs, it's going to go behind a paywall. So right now it is free. So I encourage every single person watching this right now, sign up to it now whilst it's free, play around with it. Because then when it comes paid, you have a choice. Do I want to pay for this, or do you just want to ignore it forever? It's a pretty interesting tool. It gives you pretty cool insights, and it covers a whole range of sports. I personally use it a lot with college football and MLB. I'm not overly close to those sports, but if I know I can find a massive edge, I'm always happy to take those types of bets. So it's got Odds Checker Plus. I'll leave a link to that in the video description below. It's completely free right now. You don't have to enter any payment details or anything like that. You just need to create an account with your email address. It's free for the next week and a half. So go ahead and check it out. All right, let's take a look at Natasha Howard from the Dallas Wings. Now, I originally in that first game, I was looking at under in her points, over in her rebounds. That was my lean. Didn't happen. She actually went over in her points line and under in her rebound line. Completely bucked the trend. You can see here in prior 5 games against the New York Liberty, she'd gone under her points line in every game. Then she exploded. Look at her rebound line at 6.5. She's had some decent rebounding games, which is why I thought she could go to the under. Only had 2 rebounds in that last game. Tough girl to get a read on. Natasha Howard, looking at her points, 16.5. She scored this quite well as a late. She takes a whole lot of shots. She only played 24.9 minutes in that last game too, which is pretty wild. And it wasn't because of foul trouble. She had 0 fouls in that game, only played 24.9 minutes, but she still scored 21 points. So it's impossible for me to predict how Natasha Howard is going to play in this upcoming set. Even same thing looking at her rebound. She cannot get close to this rebound line if she doesn't get the minutes. And minutes-wise, I don't know what the fuck the Dallas Wings are doing. We all know that they've got nothing to play for right now. But one thing to keep in mind is for anybody on any articles, YouTube, anyone telling you that teams are tanking, don't buy into that shit. People who blame tanking as a reason for why bets lose, they struggle with accountability, right? Because if you knew teams were tanking in the first place, you wouldn't make those bets. So I don't think it is a tank job. These players care. Keeping in mind the WNBA, it's a much shorter season than the NBA. There's no tanking, not much anyway, load management or anything like that. And especially where that the works in the WA, it is different. It's not like the NBA where if you're dog shit on that year, you get higher chances for picks. The WNBA do it, your record over the last 2 years is going to get you a better spot in the lottery. So if you just decide to tank at a certain point in a season, you have to pretty much cover off 2 years worth of data. So it's a lot harder to manipulate it. And they did that for that very reason. So yeah, I'm not buying into taking stuff, but Natasha Howard, I don't know what the hell she's doing. So I'm going to have to pass on her. Then we have Tierra McCowan. All right, let's talk about T-Rex McCowan, Tierra McCowan. We'll go through a points prop, 10.5. I want to look at the other here, but man, she's hit this quite well against the Liberty. 4 out of her last 5. They've set this number very delicately at 10.5. It's right on the money because I wouldn't bet the over and I wouldn't bet the under. She's hit the over in 4 out of the 5. And the under, she'll surprise us. This is also a home game for Dallas. Tierra McCowan does happen to score some points at home, surprisingly. This last game against the Liberty, she only played 17 minutes, still scored 11 points, shot 5 from 6 from the field. So the volume's definitely not there. So I would lean to the under on her points, but I wouldn't be man enough to bet on any of those. What I would be willing to bet on is this. Under 7.5 rebounds is what I'm looking at. It's a plus money play right now. She's hit this amazingly over her last 10 games. A lot of these were home games. This is a home game as well. But I think this matchup with the Liberty is just awful for her. She has hit it before. This game here where she got 8 rebounds against the Liberty, I had the bet on that, on her under, and she managed to cash it, which absolutely broke my heart and destroyed me. But I'm willing to run it back and take her under here. And the main reason for that is it's just the pace. The Liberty just play with so much pace. Tierra McCowan's got to defend the perimeter with Jonquel Jones. It's just way too difficult for her, which is why she's not getting many minutes in these matchups. 22, 18, then 17 in that last one. If she gets 17 minutes again, I don't see how she gets 8 rebounds in this one. So I'm under for her rebounds. Points, I'm not man enough to play. Next up, we've got Arike Ogunbowale. Now, she works her ass off every single game. She's always playing hard. Her points line's at 20.5. Despite how difficult this may be, she's always up around this number, which is pretty crazy. 7 out of her last 10 games. She's hit 6 consecutive games in a row over 20.5 points. She just scored 23 in that last matchup against them. Prior to that, 17 and 19 in the other games against the Liberty. In that last game, 8 from 16, 50% from the field is actually pretty good for Marike. 2 from 7 from deep, though, but did get to the free throw line. At 20.5, I definitely lean to the over. She's got a 71% hit rate this season. And if we look at games with Satu Sabali, who's probably the only person who could take some of her shots and volume away, she's over in 8 out of 11 games with Satu in the lineup. So I actually do like the over there for Arike, 20.5. I definitely think she can get it done. Win or lose, she's going to play about 35 minutes and she's going to take a whole lot of shots too. She's got no quit in her. She can get 16 to 7 shots. Then yeah, definitely 20.5. I could see it happening at home as well. I'm not saying Dallas will be competitive here, but she's going to want to put on a show. She's a baller for sure. I like that. Arike over 20.5 points. Her assist line's at 4.5. She's cashed this in 6 out of her last 10, averaging 5.4. She's hit it in 2 out of the 3 games against the Liberty this season. 5, 8, and 4 assists. Only finished on 4 assists in that last game. 36 minutes played. I feel this line is just about right. If anything, I'll probably lean to the under because at this point, when you're down 10, 15, 20 points, who gives a shit about assists, right? You're the best scorer on the team. Go ahead and shoot that thing. Looking at her rebounds, 4.5. It's a plus money play to the over. 5 out of her last 10, 4.7 as an average. 2 out of the games against the Liberty only had 3 rebounds in that last game. And the Liberty actually allowed the most rebounds to guards on the season. The problem is the Liberty shot the lights out in that last game. I think they were 55% from deep, which is going to limit her rebound opportunities. So this one, I'm not saying take the under or the over. I'd honestly just avoid it. Looking at a three-pointer line, 2.5. So line 5 out of her last 10, making 3 per game. In head-to-head matchup, she's only hit this in 1 out of 3 games against the Liberty. The Liberty are great at defending the perimeter, but Arike is still going to take her shots, which is why I'm not saying to take the under, but the percentages haven't been great against this team. So I'd probably pass on that. I think points is the way to go. She can score in a whole variety of ways. So if I'm betting on Arike, I think over 20.5 is probably the best look. Next up, we've got Satu Sabali, over 16.5 points. Her line has slowly been coming down, and it makes sense because so has her production. She's hit this in 6 of her last 10, averaging 17.5. She's played the Liberty in games post the All-Star break, 24 points the first time, and then she's been shut down 10 and 9 points in the subsequent games. Her shot volume's not there, 12 and 10 shots in her last 2 games against the Liberty. And you can see the volume really just declining. So for Satu, I'd be looking at the under in her points prop, to be honest. That all makes a whole lot of sense. The other play that I do like is an over in her rebounds and assists because she's still playing a lot of minutes and she's doing some things out there. She's not scoring the ball, but her playmaking is excellent. 6 out of her last 10, she's hit this rebound plus assist line, averaging 11 head-to-head matchups against the Liberty. She's hit this in 2 out of the 3 games. Most recently, 7 rebounds and 7 assists. I feel like there could be an improvement there on the rebound side of things. I don't expect the Liberty to shoot 55% from deep again. And Satu, a pretty good rebounder. So I do like her opportunity to get more boards. And this Dallas Wings offense is great. They're going to score a whole lot of points. If anything, when Satu came back, their offense got better and their defense just stayed shit. So I think she can definitely produce in both the rebounds and the assist side. So I like the over there, but I do like the under in her points. If you're a crazy bastard, you can parlay that all together. Under in points, over rebounds, over in assists. But, I just had to pay. I don't want to overdo it, but this is where my mind goes. So I don't think she scores much, but I think she still produces on that stat sheet. Outside of that, there's no players to really get through. Should be a good game, most part, but I think most eyes are going to be on this game. It's the Dolphins versus the Bills. Now, I don't necessarily support the Dolphins. I just like a lot of the colors that they wear. I've told you guys that before, but I do have a couple of bets on this game. If you're interested, you can check out my VIP. No promo on the video now. That Hamby promo that I ran, that sold out real quick. So you guys were quick to jump on it. Wait a couple of days, get some more value, get some more bangers, let the VIP eat a little bit more, and then I might have some promotion sometime later in the week, maybe before NFL football. So if you're interested or if you're already in VIP, don't miss it. Those NFL picks have already been posted, and so have your WNBA. I appreciate you guys for checking out the video. If you made it this far, let me know in the comment section. Type in the word tour because my man going to chuck that thing around you.